Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this narration of the web series Nature of Predators Book 2. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 37. Memory transcription subject, Taylor Trench, human colonist. Date, standardized human time, July 15th, 2160. With boot camp completed, I was free to leave the base in my off-duty hours. My plan for the rest days was to wander the city with Gress, who was eager to see Leka and Jufra after weeks separated. His daughter had loved the idea of staying on the human planet, so we were heading to a hotel room where his ex-wife had planned a faceless handoff. The Krev hadn't let me out of his sight since my abduction, because we'd yet to receive any leads on Mafani's hideout. Where could that former Black Ops prick even be hiding, and why couldn't Gress's contacts locate him? My exchange partner was worried the Rescue would come back for me, and honestly, I shared those fears. I was jumpy and worried about going anywhere nobody had eyes on me. It was a waiting game to see my persecutors get their comeuppance, and my patience was waning. General Radai was meticulous with his planning instead of pressing our advantage, before they'd have a chance to send another round of ships into our space. On the subject of lingering fears, when an armada 20,000 strong burst into Telus' space, it had brought back memories of how the exterminator fleets had come to Earth. The greatest insult was that the bastards had figured out drones, most likely from studying my own species, so they weren't pushovers that we could use psychological warfare against anymore. Despite the advancement, the consortium vanquished them. My faith was restored. It's a cause for celebration. The scales, pun intended, are tipped in our favor. Now it's just a matter of waiting for the threefold decapitation strike to make the month-long journey. Fighting a war across great distances will require patience. Persistence, some might say. We hadn't found too many hints in the wreckage, as the drone parts began to disintegrate almost as soon as their seams were undone. In my mind, there was no doubt that they'd used our technology to some extent. Why worry about the feckless crews when computers could do their dirty work? What we knew for certain was that their trails led back towards Federation's border, which left me wondering if our first strike didn't need to include the civ kits. This all started with their arrival, so they must be the root of this conflict. Whatever General Radai might have thought, this proved that destroying their fleet was the right decision. Who knew what kind of intel they might have gotten if we spoke to them or allowed them any closer to our new home? As much as I loved spending time with my Krev friend, perhaps the only person I'd ever felt close to, no day wandering Telus with Leka could have a guarantee of safety, not until we convinced those Fedi bastards not to come knocking on our doors.
I heard Quana was going on a tour of the caverns. She wanted to see how you lived. Told Teresa was insightful to witness the species' conditions with your own eyes, Gress said,
as we ascended in the hotel elevator. I tilted my head. You two talked, voluntarily. Quana's been less hostile since she was given the clearance to take Mafani out, but
I overheard her talking with Cherise. Your Jaslev friend was interested in seeing the vault of your keepsakes from Earth. My guess is she likes the idea of making one for Esquire.
Jaslev's had time to safeguard their artifacts and planned the transition. I'm not sure what they need a vault for. They have more than fecking pictures and empty memories.
The Krev looked at me with sad eyes as the doors opened. If we win this war, or are able to stop Isol, maybe we could save a few artifacts. There has to be something, even if it's at the bottom of the ocean, that we can save. I want to help Taylor. My heart breaks for you and your people.
I know, I'm just backed up, and I don't know what I believe, other than I don't deserve you. Now history is me turning on you, doubting you, assaulting you.
You gave me a chance to get it right, like I couldn't all those years ago. I'm going to save you as many times as it takes, even if it's from yourself. You can't push me away, or hide how you really feel.
How do I really feel, Gress?
You turned on me because you trusted me, and were willing to be vulnerable, because you we care deeply about each other. You express pain by blowing up, so you don't have to admit it to yourself.
It's not blowing up. I want to do something with my feelings.
There are other ways.
That's a nice statement from Captain Obvious, though he made it sound quite cryptic. Is there something more he's not saying? Gress steered me down the hallway as I continued on in silence. We unlocked the door to Lekka's room, and my leg was immediately latched onto by little Krev. Her claws tore the fabric on my jeans, which caused her father to wince. The kid didn't notice at all, instead bouncing up and down with excitement. Juva crawled back into his cage and began shaking it from the inside. Of course, the oboe was acting possessed at the mere sight of me. He was basically a fed. If it hadn't been for how distraught Gress told me he was, putting his first oboe down, I'd suggest to give this primate some night-night syrup. There were better pets out there.
Daddy, Daddy,
Lekka finally released me, diving on top of her father's tail. Who made her so hyper?
Tell me something cute about the humans.
Gress cast a sly glance at me. Let's see. Their celebrities walk down red carpets at big events, and prance right down the fancy color strip.
I want to see. If I make one for Taylor, can he walk down it? He has to show me.
Taylor would love to, wouldn't he? Absolutely not, I protested. What next? Do I have to get petted by you?
You don't have to, but I figured out a way that humans will pay me to pet them. I hear you like massages. If I run a massage parlor in Tellus, work would just be petting humans for hours. Might go for it after the war.
You can't be serious, Gress.
That sounds like a great job, Daddy,
Lekka cheered.
That's what I want to do. I can't believe we used to be scared of them. They're so squishy and adorable.
Yeah, I think I'm done with this conversation. Call me back when you figure out where Lekka wants to go. I'll occupy myself snooping through your things. Juva poked his head out the cage as I ambled away, baring his teeth while on all fours. I found myself imagining the oboe painted in clown makeup. Perhaps I could persuade Gress's daughter to do that to him, not knowing the true meaning. I rolled my hands into fists, faked a sad expression, then flapped them around near my eyes in mock crying. The primate made the motions of lunging at me, and I leapt away with a hint of fright. My friend's worthless pet settled back on his haunches and snickered in his shrieking register. Demon! Diabolical little crap! I'm gonna rattle his cage in the middle of the night, right when he's sleeping. I took a closer look around the hotel, checking out the accommodations that visitors to Tellus would have. We had more guests on our world than Ark settlers. The oboe backpack Gress mentioned was sitting out on the couch, revealing a pop-up book about us for kids. I tugged the print media out, but was too lazy to get a visual translator to read the simplistic words. One picture showed a human kid playing on a swing set, and the child appeared on the next slide wearing a triangular hat and blowing out birthday candles. I turned the page, finding images of jump rope and hopscotch. My hand slammed the book shut, feeling a bit deflated. We'd never done those kinds of things when I was a child in the caverns. Our circumstances robbed me of almost every fun experience I could have had. I suppose this hardcover was about how human kids played, so that sated my curiosity. Perhaps it would have been better if I hadn't been reminded about certain parts of our culture that I missed out on. Then again, it was never too late to start playing around and having fun, right? Something on the floor caught my eye. I reached my hand beneath the couch, pulling out some kind of puzzle cube. Well, what do we have here? I picked up a four-sided figure with a few movable L-shapes fitted on the outside. Noticing a faint aroma, I brought it to my nose. It smelled fruity, and I wondered if this was some kind of inverse puzzle version of a ring pop. I shook it, feeling and hearing something inside. Gotcha. Let's see how to get this open. It's like a Rubik's Cube with an actual incentive. I rotated the L pieces enough to free the one side, working to shift the square underneath it to an upper layer. Getting parts of the cube to flip into the outer shell was easy, but the gaps were only big enough to jam my pinky into. It made a bit of a lattice pattern. I tried attacking it from two sides, freeing part of each surface. The contraption still defied me. Growing from frustration, I placed it in between my feet and tried to tuck it open. The commotion drew Gress and Lekka over to see what I was up to, and my crab friend immediately morphed into a melty face. He caught himself, eyes shifting back and forth in a conflicted dance. Stupid thing, can't get it open. This is a time waster. You'd have to be Einstein to solve it.
Taylor, Grab ventured, it's natural and totally okay, of course, if you would share interests with other primates, but, that's one of Juva's toys.
I threw the cube away like a hot potato, bringing about the collision with the ogre's cage. It just looked fun, like a Rubik's Cube, but it's not solvable. Crap, I didn't know. Only W.R.E would be stupid enough to keep working on this. It's a hamster wheel, man. The red-furred ogre chittered, picking up the unsolvable puzzle. W.R.E began unscrewing the pieces, moving certain blocks upwards in various intervals. The primate seemed to be making tangible progress on it, and tinkered with it in silent focus. He screeched happily as he made an incision wide enough to squeeze his hand through. The monkey-like creature waved a red, powdery substance in the air. Likely the source of the sugary scent. Gress called out, "Good Ober!" There was a triumphant glint in the animal's binocular eyes, as I gestured to him in an indignant outrage. He popped the cookie in his mouth, crunching it in his molars. "That's not fair," I shouted. "The bastard could have cheated. How come W.R.E could get it open like nothing? He knows some trick or gimmick you trained him in. He's mocking me, chomping away at his treat like he earned it. Circus animal, food thief, gremlin." Gress seemed at a loss for words. His tongue hung out of his mouth, twitching. "I can give you an overtreat, too." "What? I don't want pet food. Who knows what crap put in that? You guys eat literal rocks?"
"Because we don't have teeth. This would be perfectly edible, if that's what you're worried about. I don't want you feeling, left out. There's enough to go around, and it's not a competition." "If it's a competition, W.R.E would have won,"
Lecker said unhelpfully. I scowled at the child. "Did your father teach you to lie?" "I did most of the hard work for the damn Opa. He took what I already did."
"Which is what exactly?"
"You little—" Gress retrieved a treat bag from the kitchen, jingling it at me.
"Will one of these make you stop arguing with my daughter?"
W.R.E curled his lips upward, taunting me as he scooped crumbs off the floor. "Fine, give me one, just so that no good Oba can watch me eat it. Show him his place," I huffed. Gress's eyes lit up, though he quickly attempted to mask his happiness. The crab placed one of the cookies in my palm, and I held it up with suspicion. Maybe I should have asked if they crushed any dried insects in with the fruit paste, since I knew that was what they fed W.R.E quite often. However, not wanting the pet to relish his feelings of superiority, I popped the treat into my mouth while staring right at him. My immediate instinct was to brace myself for a retching sensation, trying to hide my disgust. However, I wasn't expecting to taste fecking amazing. It was lighter than flour, singing with the juicy flavors of fruit snacks and a full sodium in the center, reminding me of salted caramel. "Crap!" I managed through a mouthful of food, raising my eyebrows at the crab. "That's actually pretty good."
Lecker stomped a foot, pouting. "Why don't I get to give Taylor a treat, Daddy? You have all the fun." "Well, you can if you want some more, I guess. Just don't throw it on the floor and hand it to him," Gress ordered. I searched for a glass of water before holding up my palm. "If you want something to hand out at Halloween, this would definitely do. Maybe keep what they are on the down low." The crab kid pranced over to me, carrying the bag. "So you want one?"
"Unfortunately for my little remaining self-respect, yes."
"Okay then. Taylor, sit."
I gaped at her. "The fuck did you just say?"
Gress wagged a scolding claw. "Lecker, how would you feel being given commands like an animal?" "I told you, do your homework, take a bath, go to bed, as my whole life. At least he'll get something for listening."
"It's not acceptable to treat my friend, a sapient being who I care about, with respect, very much like W.R.E.
"You don't care about or respect W.R.E? "That's not what I meant. I'm saying Taylor is capable of understanding much more than sit, as are you. W.R.E couldn't understand the concept of do your homework. No matter the training he gets, Taylor can. It's demeaning to the humans, and not how you treat someone as an equal, a friend. I just want to take care of them and be nice. I know he can talk, but look at him."
"Lecker, what if there was someone out there who thought the same about Krev? Is it fair to disregard everything else about them?" Gress looked flustered, but walked over to me, placing a paw on my shoulder. "To another set of species, Taylor is a terrifying monster. He lost everyone he had in his universe, because they didn't care about who he was, only what he was. How we treat people shouldn't, must not be, based on how they look to us." I lowered my head. "Your father is right. I am a primate, but I don't want to be some caged animal that does tricks. I was that back in the cavern, growing up to follow someone else's commands. It hurt a part of my soul. Please, don't think of me as a pet. That's not being nice. Necker sighed before setting the treat bag down.
I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt you, Taylor. Is it mean to think that you're really adorable?
No, it's a welcome change after being treated like a monster that didn't deserve to live, and having people cower at the mere sight of us.
Those alien eyes are broken. I just wanted to see what you looked like sitting down or rolling over.
You could have asked. I don't need a treat. It's enough to make you happy, as long as you don't treat me like some object to gawk at.
Okay. Could you please sit on the floor? I like watching humans just walk around and do simple stuff. So it'd be cool, and I think everything you do is adorable, if that's the reason.
I chuckled. Fine. After that, would you like to go to the playground with human kids? I saw you liked swing sets, hopscotch, and some other things. If your dad is okay with it, maybe you could try it in real life.
Really? Yes, please, Daddy. Can we?
Okay, but you're going to be very careful on the swings. I don't want you falling off, Grace responded.
Yay! Quick, Taylor, sit down so that we can get to the playground. I want to go right now. Please do that because it's nice and I'm so excited.
Deciding to humor Necker since she was at least trying to make it a request. I flopped down on the floor. I didn't think much about how I situated myself, bending my legs and placing one foot beneath each knee, the familiar diamond shape shown by kids in a reading circle in an elementary school classroom. Grace's expression changed to an ignoring one, which meant that I'd inadvertently done something cute to him. Necker rushed to take a picture, and I made no attempt to stop her. The crab child squealed, flailing her claws around in excitement at my mundane behavior. Well, this is a new way to make a kid's day. Bye. Let's just check my notes, sitting cross-legged on the ground. Is that a normal way that humans sit? Your legs are all folded up and overlapping, Grace gushed. And your feet are like little pedestals for your knees. It'd be even cuter if you could see your wiggly toes. I facepalmed, standing up in a hurry. There is nothing special about this. You can't be serious. It's called crisscross applesauce. Even the name is the cutest thing. I heard that rhyme, and it mentions fruit mash if applesauce translated. I can imagine it smeared all over your face, replacing that fur you shave away, where you coat your chin in that white foam. That made you look more babyish than harmless. I can't. You're horrible. And how can you say I'm harmless in one sentence, then go primates so violent in the next? You know I'm not harmless because I literally whacked you over the head. I don't put continuity between one thought and the next, because I think whatever is necessary to make you precious and petable. You can't stop me. Precious? Nope. I can handle and will stop you. I'll look really sad if you use that to describe me again. I know how to hurt you. But I can hug you if you look sad, I scoffed. Playground. Now. The Krev coaxed his daughter out of the hotel room, and I thought to myself that there were worse ways to be spending his limbo, waiting for news on Mafani and the Federation. Human kids playing together with aliens hadn't been on my wildest imagination 4 months ago, but now I could watch other children have the fun times that I never experienced. That was a reason to press on and keep fighting. It was wonderful to have people in my life who cared about me, no matter what happened, and who could explore the new and improved Tellus with me. End of story. I would like to thank our T5 members and patrons, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Vidmori, 050, Dragzoon W.R.E, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.